Now we'll, right. So now we'll start. Okay. Thank you so much to Diana and Zuki. Yeah. Battery, Allah, battery. Kita nak kena cara dia.
Saya kira macam
Jangan nama.
7% tau. Nampak?
What's this? Del or what?
Ada.
Del?
I have.
Cookie.
7%.
You switch
Tapi-
on the switch ah.
I don't know.
Pakai dia punya.
Oh, udah cari refuni.
Yeah. We need to charge. Thank you. Right. Okay. Welcome everyone. Alhamdulillah. Finally, we can get started. It seems that we have problem. You all can hear me? I see Mohammad and this.
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
good
good.
morning.
Rajesh, you can hear me?
Yes, clear.
Okay, you're in some hotel in KL.
No, bro. I'm in Muhammadiyah office.
Mohammad
In Gombak.
office. Okay. In Gombak.
Indonesia.
No, it's Mohammad office in
Oh, it's a
KL.
branch.
A branch. Yeah, just a branch.
Special branch.
The branch, yeah. Okay, then we've been working on the technicalities since before 8:30, and finally, we got the problems solved. So now we will start. Again, I want to emphasize that our group supervision is important because it is number one where you can actually hear my feedback, my comments directly to you and to your friends. So you can actually learn from the interaction from our group supervision. Yeah. The other thing is that we have a community of postgraduates under my supervision in Sempris right now. So this is a way to actually maintain your communication, maintain your rapport, relationship with your friends in Sempris who are also in postgraduate studies here. And I think the third thing, which is equally important, is perhaps very, very important, is that this will give you the practice of presentation during the viva, during the final oral defense later. So we need to work with technology, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. Because if you're doing online viva, if you're doing online proposal defense, online findings defense, you will need to work with the technology. So with all the weaknesses of technology, we got to adapt and learn with all these changes of technology. Yeah, so that's the important of having this group supervision, right? So SunHao, you ready? Today we have two presenters. One is SunHao, the other one is Samir. Samir is here live from Sempris.
Yeah. Hello.
Samir, where are you? Oh, there you are. You're just next to me. Okay. SunHao, are you ready? Right. Now, let me qualify. The actual proposal defense will be 20 minutes. So you want to do a plus minus maybe 20, 15 to 25 minutes, right? So that's the usual time. So usually the proposal defense is within an hour. So they will have question and answer after your presentation. So what you want to do is actually to practice your presentation, your proposal presentation within that 20 minutes plus minus. Okay, so now are you ready to share your PowerPoint and
Okay.
get your PowerPoint ready to come in. Get your PowerPoint ready and also your draft. Yeah, actually your draft. Pizarro.
Yes.
How are you?
Fine.
Gimana kabarnya? Malam kerja sampai jam berapa tuh?
Oh, 10. Mendadak, bro.
Okay. Okay. You're ready. The floor is yours, SunHao.
Okay. Morning, Professor. Good morning. Happy New Year. Now I
Happy
start.
New Year. Happy New Year.
Now I
新年快
start.
乐，
春节快乐。
新年快乐，万事如意。
I start my speaking. My title is an empirical study on the sharing fake news in the modern society, the modern laws of fake news technology. First, my background of study. Social media may be used effective to disseminate emails, announce of the unfiltered generated information.
Sorry, SunHao, can you enlarge your presentation? You just click play there. Enlarge it.
Zoom.
Yeah. Press this button there. That button there, right? To make it big. To make it big.
Too little.
No. You know, you can press this is not PowerPoint, huh? This is not, that button there, you go down. Your hand go down further. 再下一点. Okay. This one here. Yeah, that one, that button. Can you see me? That button. Press that button. This button.
It's okay?
Okay, it's fine. You can press the button so that it becomes really
I
big.
think blue one. Blue.
The blue button. The 蓝色的 button. Right. Is it working? It become the full screen.
我其实
Full screen. The answer the blue color button. Can you press that? Blue color.
Blue or beside blue? Blue beside blue.
导师是说让你把那个 PPT 放映一下，播放一下。
可是我正在播放啊。
现在不是没有在那个放映，现在就是打开的状态，我们看到的。
我再调整一下。好奇怪啊。
你点上面有一个那个，就是放映它。
Yeah, Pizarro, I'm learning Indonesian language, Arabic, Chinese language.
Multicultural class.
Multicultural class. That's good.
You can't fix the problem with this. You can't. Don't work in English, work in Bahasa.
Where is it? You can find it? Because in your proposal defense, right, you want to enlarge it. Then you want to make sure that the committee members of your proposal defense committee can see. There. Okay. What is that?
秦明，你帮我看一下，这样可以吗？
不行，你就是最上面不是有那菜单栏，你选那个放映，然后从头开始。对，这现在不是在开始那块吗？然后第几个？1、2、1、2、3，第6个放映。
Big part of PhD right now, big part of masters is technology.
我好像是正常的在播映啊。
不是，就是它需要是展示出来放映，就不是说你打开就行了。或者是你看你现在上面有一个当页开始，看到了吗？一个圆形里面有个三角形，你点一下它试试看看效果。就是你那个 PPT 上面有一个当页开始，一个圆形里面有三角形。或者是在你把它生成一个 PDF。
这样 OK 吗？
太好了。
Thank you.
Learning something here from Chiming. Nah, that's good. All right.
Thank you,
Chiming. Continue now. Thank you so much.
Okay. This is my title, an empirical study on the sharing fake news in the modern society, the modern roles of fake news technology. So first, my background of study, social media may be used effective to disseminate or errors announce of the unfiltered generate information. During time of the uncertainty, it is also relied upon to display rumors of confuse popular facts among other users. This amount evidence that the development of the COVID-19 as a worldwide pandemic has resulted in the fraud of the disinformation that endanger girl theories. With more individuals reading the news with less posted of the social media, the dissemination of the news is factors. It is crucial to comprehend the impact of social media on the progression of the falsehoods. And people are increasingly turn to social media like Facebook, Weibo, and Twitter to get hear news. It has been noted that the repeated dissemination of the COVID-19 misinformation is largely due to the abundance of information on the coronavirus. A different study found that the spread of fake news on the COVID-19 was influenced by cultural factors and the need for technology-driven crises. The convenience with which information could be shared through social networks, commercial initiative, and the lack of the culture of the online marketer. It's my problem statement. Misinformation about the COVID-19 pandemic has done a greatest damage to the world health care infrastructure. Therefore, it's crucial to investigate the factors that lead individuals to believe and propagate misleading information about COVID-19 and to create countermeasure to this problem. And there are a worldwide problem with a spread of the fake information through social media, but the study has provided little investigation of this year. This is my research question. I want to see is here a relationship between social team strings and share fake news and between passive hearers and sharing fake news and personal intentions and share fake news. And does fake news technology moderated the relationship between social team street and sharing fake news and passive hurt and between pressure interaction and fake news? It's my research objective to examine the relationship between social team strings and share fake news, to investigate the relationship between passive hurt and share fake news, to investigate the relationship between per-social interaction and share fake news, to examine the modeling effect of the fake news technology on the relationship between social team strings and share fake news, to investigate the modeling effects of fake news technology on the relationship between passive hurt and social and share fake news, to examine the modeling effect of fake news technology on the relationship between pressures, interaction, and share fake news. Is my scientific of the study. This research added to the lecture since it showed that Western social media users are not the only one which attempt has been drawn to the phenomenon of the fake news. In contrast, data for this research come from a large pool of the Chinese social media users. The research also provides practical evidence for the importance of the familiarity with the false news in the limiting its distribution. Is my scope of study. This study aims to investigate the factor influencing the sharing of the fake news in China. Three independent variable: social constraints, perceived post-social interactions. One dependent variable, sharing fake news. One monitor fake news technology. And I will thank representatives Chinese social media user in China. That's my lecture review. First, sharing fake news. Fake news refer to any information that is incorrect. And fake news serves to show state of the distress and intensifies dissenting social and cultural dynamics. And fake news harm both people and social by spreading misleading information with the intention of the influencing others to support printing goals. Next, social constraints. The degrees to which two people's social networks intersect is a measure of the strength of the hair things to another one. Research shows that people are more likely to believe data when it comes from a source with high things strengths. Next, perseverance heart. Perseverance heart refer to certain behaviors shown by a large number of the individual, which results in psychical pressure toward an individual behavior in adults with the social impact factors. Next, proper social interaction. The term private social interaction describe the extent to which a person have a nominal connection with an individual who serves as a negative example. Fake news technology as the moderator. The new data lets those who are aware of the danger of the false news are less likely to spread it to others. next social impactors social impact refer to experience to which an individual's emotion, thoughts, or behaviors are affected by the perceived actor on hypothetical plans of activities of other people. These my theatrical me words, social constraints, perceived hurt, purple, social interaction, and fake news technology to sharing fake news. I want to here is a relationship between the social constraints and shark fake news, and relationship between press hurt and sharing fake news. There is a relationship between purpose social interaction and the fake news. And fake news technology modernize the relationship between social streets and sharing fake news. And fake news technology modernize the relationship between perceived hurt and share fake news. Fake news technology modeling the relationship between perceived interaction and share fake news. It's my research mostly quantitative research and online survive. I will meet Chinese social media user in China. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, SunHao. Right, it was 20 minutes. Yeah, so less than 20 minutes. That's good. So the timing is good. Now, take note of my comments. Yeah, I have a number of comments I'd like to make. You also have your written draft. Your draft. You have your chapter. The draft you sent. SunHao, do you have this? What's the one? The one you wrote to me, the draft. Your research proposal. 你有没有这个
It's list.
not the list, the research proposal that you wrote to me. You have it in the file?
I
have it in your computer.
I open it.
But afterwards, we'll go to your write up afterwards. Yeah. So now we'll be talking about your presentation first. Okay. Now, as I noted much earlier just now, and it has been proven by what happens now, right? So a lot of what we are doing with masters and PhD has to do with technology. So we need to experience the glitches, the problems of technology, and overcome it, right? So in your actual proposal defense later on, right, to the Sampris committee, it's best that you have at least two systems, right? Your laptop, or you have a second laptop, something like that. Just in case one system has problem, then you have another system. Is that you have two laptops, or a computer, a laptop. Of course, the best is you're here in Sampris, like Samir wants to do, right? Hopefully, he can make it to the proposal defense. So, and Viva, definitely you should have at least two systems, and that has happened to one of your colleagues. She has graduated ECO. She have a problem with one system, and definitely she has a backup. So it's important to have a backup. All right. When it comes to presentation, SunHao, SunHao, if you can understand me, let me know, yeah. 不明白的话，直接问我。
Okay.
Okay. All right. Presentation is a important note for presentation. The people, the audience must be able to read what you write in your slides, right? So if your fonts are too small, then you cannot read it. So a general guide for font size 16, minimum 16, right? A minimum size is 16. So some of your slides here have all these writings that are too small, right? Even with an enlarged screen, it's still hard to read, right? So make sure make your font size bigger. All right, and your title, the opening slide, right, should have your name on it. Should have, can include my name on it too, right? So this is your opening slide, right? You're in communications, right, SunHao? So this is like basic thing in communication. You should have names and the title, right? So make that clear. All right. And next, I think this is true. Most, if not all of us here, are not native English speakers, right? So we must practice. You all, right, who are not native speakers, and you got to really polish your English, right? Now you have two choices. Pizarro, you'll be writing in Bahasa atau English? English, okay. So in English, SunHao, in fact, I'm advising Samer as well, right? If you want to write in English, want to present English, and you have challenges, you want to take classes. You must take classes, right? So SunHao, a lot of what you have said just now, presented, is, I cannot understand what you say. Thank God I have the slides. I can read the slide. So when you say fake news, you say it sounds like fact news instead of fake news. So opposite meaning to fake news. So and then you say social, it's a social tie, not social tea, right? So these are words that are important. You must make it. You must pronounce it correctly, right? At the very least, you're not sure, you just go to Google. Well, you don't have Google. You have Google? Yeah, I'm not sure you have access to Google. Basically, check on the internet how, what the pronunciation is like. You just copy the pronunciation. Yeah, but then I don't know. You have access to Google, not in China.
Oh.
Gmail, Google, I don't know. So you do that, yeah, SunHao. So for your proposal presentation, right, it's important that the people can understand what you say. Right? I know you told me that you have problems with English. We all have problems with English because we are not native speakers. I don't know, but Salma, maybe not so we are all not native speakers, right? So we will, and it is not about English per se, but it is a language you want to use for your PhD and your masters. So you're going to master it to the level that people can understand what you say, right? So it is very, very important point there. Okay. Still about your presentation. So whenever you have a paragraph on a slide and you're making a presentation, right? And if you're not making a presentation to to the committee or your Viva, and it's different case, right? You can be as fancy, as crazy as you want. But for presentation for the committee, to the proposal defense and then findings defense and then your Viva, you want to make it easy for people to read. So do not have one paragraph. You break up your significance of study. You have one big paragraph there. You break it into sentences, right? So one sentence and the next sentence and the next sentence. Yeah. So easy for people to read. And you actually have highlighted words, which is good, or bold words, that's good. So people can see, the keywords are there. So make sure it's still about the presentation. So avoid the paragraph, one big paragraph, break the paragraph into 2 or 3 parts, right? Go to your scope of study. Can you go to the scope of study? Scroll down. Further down, more. Okay, stop there. All right, good. Yeah, so a scope of study, you say the study aims, and this is yeah, it's okay. The other part to it is your presentation. Get some a proofreader to go through your work. Yeah, like the study aims to investigate. So the grammar and all that you got to check. The English is such that it has all those tenses. You got to get the tenses right. So the study aims to investigate the factor. Should be factors influencing the. So it's not one factor, many factors, right? Influencing the sharing of fake news in China. Oh, by the way, you use the word sharing fake news. It should be, this is the right one, sharing of fake news, right? Not sharing fake news. So sharing, you should, because you want to turn it into what do you call it, a noun form, right? Phrase, but a noun. So sharing of fake news, or fake news sharing, and it's fine too, right? Or sharing of fake news, okay? You have 3 variables, and then you put the independent variable and then moderator there, okay? So this is not what your scope of study is. This is part of your conceptual framework, right? This is not scope of study. The scope study has to do with, you know, the sampling size, the space, the geography, the time, right? That will be the scope of study, right? Not the variables, independent variable, dependent variable. So you've got to shift the information here to you can put under methodology, you can put under conceptual theoretical framework, right? So this one should not be in there, right? Go down further. Go down further where you have your okay, literature review. Right. Go down further. Okay. The other thing, like SunHao, I do not have a problem when you have the clouds and all that. I don't have problem with that. But in our academic setting, the mindset of the people tend to be more formal, not fancy, not cutesy, you know, not no cats, no mouse in there, you know, you want to make it formal, like you're presenting to a CEO, you are presenting to the Xi Jinping, right? You cannot have these clouds, you know. You're presenting to scholars, so scholars tend to not want to have the all this fancy. I'm okay with it, but I'm telling you from a communication point of view, keep it to the academic culture, which likes it to be dry, boring, formal. It's safe. That is safe, because if you have somebody sitting there who doesn't like something like that, that might, you know, and it might annoy the person there. Right? I'm okay with that, but for because it's like you're entering a game, right? You know, taekwondo, karate, or wushu game or whatever. There are rules there, so you can bring in judo into karate, but then they say, "Oh, that's you know that is against the rules." So you do not want to make it difficult to you. You want to make easy. But once you have your masters, once you have PhD, you can say, "Oh, and do whatever you want to do." Okay, and that's up to you, right? So I would suggest you remove the what do you call that? Clouds and all that.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean that you do not make your work interesting, but you make it interesting within the scholarly communication paradigm, so to say. Yeah. So you know, no moving things down there, like a little mouse. You don't want to do that. Okay. Let me ask you this question, and this is a question that they might ask during the committee. What is the originality? What is your contribution to knowledge? What is the original part of your research? Now, can you answer that?
Okay, then Let me see. 这嗯 I I don't know your question.
Oh, you don't know my question. The original, something new about your research, something that is not there before.
Yeah. First, the
原
COVID-19.
原班的原班的
呃
原班的，
呃
对不对？
啊
原班的 something 新的，这样没有研究，你就是没研
Yeah.
究，人家还
Uh,
没有研究。
I know. Something
Okay,
news in my research.
okay, something.
First, the social media is popular in China. Uh, Third, I think the COVID-19 is spread in the world and cause more fake news. So I want to know this thing.
Okay, you go to your the framework, their conceptual framework. You have one slide there, right? On conceptual framework. Scroll down.
Okay.
Can you go down? Okay, go down further. Further down, I think. All right, stop there. Okay, your theoretical framework, right? So the social tie, the strength of the social tie, right? And you have the perceived hurt, all right? You have the perceived hurt, you have the parasocial interaction, and fake news. Have anyone or any studies out there, any literature out there that combine the all these variables together to study the sharing of fake news? The studies before 有没有别人研究这样的 framework？
I saw so little.
Okay.
嗯
Now, what you want to do in your literature, oh, thank you. What you want to do in your literature review, leading to a research question, is to identify the vacuum, the empty spaces in the literature, in the research of the past, right? And you show that, well, they have not studied from this perspective, or they have not put it all together the way you put it together. So you want to identify what is called a theoretical vacuum or conceptual vacuum, right? And you want to say, I'm studying something new here, right? I'm researching, thank you so much. I'm researching something new. Otherwise, you'll be replicating, you'll be duplicating other people's work. You do not want to repeat what the research, what others have researched on, right? So you want to show the originality of your research. Now, I suspect there are studies that look at the spreading of fake news. Right? I'm thinking there are studies on that one, but I'm not sure how people have looked at the root causes of the spreading of fake news, that kind of thing. So, so you have something here, but you got to prove that this has not been studied, right? You got to prove it. You got to show. You got to demonstrate that it has not been studied before. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The other thing I would like to go to your draft. Do you have that? Can you share it? Let me see now. This one, your file, your Word file, your Word. You use Word.
Paper. Maybe paper you can understand.
Paper, your paper. Yeah, thank you. You have your paper, the one that you sent to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait
One
a minute.
you got to stop sharing first. Stop share. In my Chinese is up to Form 5, you know, not the university level. Not even perfect Form 5 is like, you know, is the a big Form 5. University, you have different vocabularies, right? Huh?
You didn't cut it.
He's looking for, you look for your paper. Yeah, the paper you sent. Ah, there, good, good. Good, very good, right. All right. First, the title of your work, right? SunHao, your title, right?
Okay.
If you're next to me, it's easy to show what I have done with your work. Your title says an empirical study of the sharing. What's going on? The empirical study on the sharing fake news in the modern society. Okay, so grammatically, there's problem there. The moderating role of fake news knowledge. So the language there you need to improve. But I want to point out to it. So one is the language. You got to, you know, go through with somebody who is more well versed in English and work on this. And work on the language further, right? The other thing is the scope of your title. You're only studying China, right? Am I right? Yeah. Okay. So you got to put China in there, or you can say you can, but you're not studying the whole of China, right? You got to put your scope in your study in your title. If you're studying certain only a number of provinces, you say case studies of whatever province, you know, you can stay there. Right? But this one, it doesn't show the scope. You're not studying the whole world. You're studying a particular space or geography, right? So take that in your title. So, and you need to improve your title too. Okay, and if you go down, scroll down, I'll tell you where to stop. Scroll down further, scroll down. Okay, stop there. Stop. Okay, thank you. Fake news. And this is important, yeah? This is important. And it's important for all of you who are doing your postgraduate studies here. When you studying a keyword like fake news, you look at the previous definition of fake news, right? Previous definition of the term. You got to develop your own definition. But if you say you want to take a definition that has been developed by somebody else, you got to justify it. So if you're saying you're taking this definition of fake news, you got to justify why you're saying that's the definition. Right? The best is to come up with your own definition of fake news. Right? So that, and because you're doing at the PhD level, so PhD level conceptualization of constructs are important. So you got to, so here, we are no longer testing other people's theories. You are developing your own framework, theoretical framework, you know, you have your own definitions. So here, what's interesting is, see, you actually have a number of places where you use the definition of fake news, but the definition changes, right? Depending on the people who talks about fake news. So here you say, false information generated purposely by persons with personal or malevolent, how is this? Malevolent, how to pronounce this word? Malevolent intentions that neglect or falsify facts and then spread by internet users inadvertently, right? So is that how you want to define it, or you want to define it if a person spread fake news unintentionally, is that fake news? You got to think about it. Fake news is fake news, or it has to be, it must have motive to it behind it, or if I receive something in my WhatsApp, I share immediately, or I just go through the WhatsApp, right? All right, I just click, and forward, without thinking whatever, right? Right? I might not have intention of good intention or bad intention. I just do that every morning. I do that, right? And then sometimes the good morning thing, whatever people come in, is just send up. Right? So, I mean, is that so? Do I have to have a motive to to call it fake news. So you got to define that, right? And is fake news generated by a person or a group of person, or you got to, here you have persons, right? So you need to define that, right? And then of course fake news is also a concept that evolves, right? Right? Science evolves, right? What was true before might not be true now, right? So is that fake news or is that not fake news? Is it based on fact or fact that is best known to the contemporary scholars? So you got to define this because you are doing a PhD work. So you're doing PhD research, you need to be able to argue the key concepts of your work, right? So you understand what I'm saying? Right? It's not just taking a concept from somebody using the concept. This afternoon, I'll be examining. I have a viva, not my students, somebody else, some other students. Now, the problem with that thesis is that she takes a concept from somebody and uses it as a baseline, and then somebody somewhere from the West, right? And it's hardly applicable to Asia or Malaysia for that matter. So, then there will be a problem. Right? So it's important to develop your own definition of fake news. Or if you want to take somebody else's definition, you got to justify it, right? And the way you justify something is to connect it to the context of your research. You say this is good or this is relevant because in the context of my research, I will look at fake news, 1, 2, 3, different types of fake news. Right? Okay. What is it? And then let's further delve into the definition of fake news. If the news contains both fake news and real news, or factual news, is that fake news, or half fake news, or how do you classify it? Right. So you want to analyze, and then I think it is important for you to even. Now, I would. This is what I would suggest, right? I would not go in calling fake news as one entity alone. There might be different types of fake news. So you can think of that, fake news of this nature, fake news, type 1 fake news, type 2 fake news, right?
The level of fake news.
The level of fake news. So that's another way to look at it, the level of fake news. Or typology of fake news. You can come up with that. Now that will make your PhD much more scholarly, much more sophisticated, much more theoretical. Right? So when people talk about fake news, it's just fake news, right? It could be unverified fake news. And what is it?
So Victor, is fake news become it's the real news, but manipulated into in the picture or in the words, and become to give another idea or perspective to the people.
Yes.
This is also fake.
Yes. And sometimes, if you define, in media especially, you put a picture without even any explanation in the article, right? People think that the picture is connected to the article, right? Whereas, is that fake news or is it not fake news? So that's another interesting thing. Right? So what I'm saying, SunHao, is that you want to go in deeper into the concepts that you have, and then make it more sophisticated.
The big problem, for example, is there's politician or whatever speak about something, but any journalist came to cut all the speech and take just clip. Just a clip. Clip is negative. But if you listen to all, it's positive.
Right? True. Yes. So taken out of context, right? Taken out of context. So those are the things, right? Pizarro here is a journalist, so So you know quite well about this, right? So anyway, SunHao, I'm just going very deep into this part of the discussion, because I think this is the most important part of your work, right? About the fake news. I have now you have in your paper, go back to your paper. Can you share back your paper there? What happened? Okay. Just go to I'm going to skip certain things. I'll go to page 3. Go down, page 3, number 3. All right. Okay. A problem statement. Stop problem. Where's the problem statement? So it's here. You have fake news again. You have a new definition to fake news in this context, right? So when you have when you go down further, one more paragraph. Go down one more paragraph. Okay, you talk about the purpose of research here. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. You say the purpose of this research was to show that familiarity with false news mitigates the effect of exposure of COVID-19 related disinformation. All right. The authors of this research think that if the general public had a better understanding of fake news, it may help slow the spread of misinformation about the epidemic, right? So what authors you did not say what authors are there, so you want to, how many authors, that you want to state that, okay? Although you have the statement is the statement before that. The statement is before that. So you have, I think you're referring to the authors down there, right? If you scroll down further. I think you're referring to the authors of Apuke and Omar, right? You're repeating authors. So be clear in your write-up about this, yeah? No. And another part and then you go down further to page 5, significance of study. Significance of study. You don't need to put significance of the study, significance of study. Scroll down further, page 5. Page 5. No, this could be boring, but it's important. Right? Go down. Scroll down, number 5, page 5. 第5面. Page 5. Okay, go down. All right. Yeah. Significance. All right. Here, and this is important to all of you as well. In the write-up, yeah. You said having modeled the mechanisms that contribute to the propagation of disinformation during the COVID-19 era, this work has important theoretical consequences. This research adds to the literature since it shows that Western social media users are not the only ones whose attention has been drawn to the phenomenon of false news. So now you do not want to jump to conclusion, right? You do want to state that you have done this research, you have found certain thing. So you want to keep the writing at the beginning to show that you're not making early conclusions yet, right? Okay. The practical relevance still down there. The practical relevance of this is the development of intervention measures that encourage social media users to reduce COVID-19 consumption to more tolerable levels. So further down, go down, scroll down. Scroll down. Stop there. Go up, further. Up again. Up again. A bit more. Okay, good. Stop. Right. So there are sentences here. I do not know what you mean. Your first sentence, I'm not sure what you are really saying there. But the important thing I want to highlight here is this. You said they must also lessen their platform dependence on these platforms as their primary source of news and data. So there are hoaxes and there are fake news, and I do not know how you're going to deal with this matter, because there are hoaxes and fake news from businesses and government as well, and sometimes mainstream media, many times mainstream media too, right? So would you be looking at fake news or hoaxes or you know, or lies that have been told by businesses and government and media as well? So you need to consider this. I know that you're in China, so you got to think about how you want to address this problem, right? So during the Viva, they may be asking that, are you looking at fake news coming from the citizens only, or fake news coming from everyone? Because fake news can be spread, can be originated by businesses, by governments, by political parties, by media, right? By media, but eventually spread by ordinary people. Right? So that part you will want to look into it as well. Yeah. So now, are you limiting fake news to the individual, to the citizens, to the people? Are you opening it up to bigger perspective? Yeah. And if you limiting it to the people, the citizens, right? You need to address the question if it arises during the Viva. The fake news is not only created or originated from the people, it can also come from businesses, can be coming from the government, can come from media as well. So you got to think through that part, right? Otherwise, you'll be writing a piece for the government.
How about fact checkers?
Fact checkers, yeah.
Fake news.
They can. There's a good point. 2.Samer talks about fact checkers, and fact checkers is a new business in US now, isn't it? Yeah, and they have this meter, the line meter, and then so this is the new wave, when they actually control who's good, who's bad, and they state the standards of the world, they control the standards of good and bad, and so so SunHao, the point there is about there are also institutions, right? Non-profit organization there that is well, some are for profit too, but then they also make this into a business. Fact checkers. Do we have fact checkers? Oh, we have MCCA, right? But they are actually the government.
Info also.
Yeah.
Also. In Indonesia,
Indonesia.
Fact checker.
Yeah.
I think almost the big media now using those fact checker and has one division, especially just to check the
facts. Okay. All right. But this is where I'm very cynical or whatever, right? It happens in the States, it happens in many countries. So in the States, we have the CNN, MSNBC, right? And then we have the Fox News, right? So the discourse of the CNN, MSNBC, ABC News, right, is very different from the discourse of Fox News, right? So the way they label things, the way the focus they give, right, is very towards this party, Democratic Party. This one is very much towards the Republican Party.
Fox News is Republican, right?
Yeah, Republican. Fox is Republican. Likewise in Indonesia, we have TV One for somebody, Metro TV for somebody, right? So that part is the part that I have problem with media, as well, mainstream media, basically, right? So they say they are neutral, they're whatever, but we all know, and that's true for in the UK newspapers as well. The Guardian before this, the Times before, so it's not.
Also in Malaysia, right?
Malaysia too, right? Malaysia, I'm not really sure now because it's quite messed up right now. But true, it's true too. They're friends to political parties too. Yes. Yeah, Malaysia, we basically know there are no unbiased news. You're all biased news. Indonesia, they're all biased news. No one claims that.
A non-democracy country,
Yeah.
non-democracy country, right news take it from outside the country, not inside the country. And for example, I will
okay.
not take any news from inside Jordan. I will take it from New York Times.
New York Times, yeah, okay. Yeah.
New York Times, they're right, but any newspaper or any TV, it's not right.
Yeah, okay.
I think this is talk about confidence. There's not confidence between government and citizenship.
Citizens, yes.
So, but I want to ask you, what's about fake checkers? This is a new vocabulary for me.
Facts, they check facts. There are a lot now. What is it? I think in the US, Politico, whatever, yeah. Politico, they have they even have fact checkers. It's almost like, not almost, it is an institution. Many institutions.
Usually, the fact checkers lose against it.
What's the faction for them? What's the faction? What they do?
They check facts.
Check back.
Check
Whether
facts.
you say something, is this true or not? So, United States have, every 18 minutes there's a murder, there's a killing there, right?
Okay.
Is it true or not? They check the statistics, that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So, but the problem occurs is where the knowledge is within a certain space, it's not revealed, right? And people, no matter what they say, they operate within a paradigm, basically, right?
So you check who fund them.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
You go down and
Yeah.
then you look at the
Yeah.
funders, then you can
Yes.
figure it out.
Yeah. There's a. But in Malaysia, it depends on. I have relatives that last time they do not watch the government news or TV3, whatever. Now they watch because the person is in charge, and then they do not watch and they watch again.
For example, we have for example, there is a page in Facebook for my country in Iraq.
Yeah.
It's named Technology for Peace.
Okay.
Technology for Peace.
Sounds nice. Good.
Yeah, this is fact checkers.
Fact checkers.
Any something in false news or fake news, or this is give justification, or they say this is fake news or this is real news. So where after
that's the fact checkers.
Certification with the sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the fact checkers. Yeah. Right. Okay,
This is actually because for the US, they're playing culture wars, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they control information and they, the war is not like conventional warfare, right? This is fourth generation warfare.
Yes.
And now we're into fifth generation warfare. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
You can go and Google it. What is fifth generation warfare?
Yeah. Well, coming back to you now. So now, I wish. By the way, I really encourage you all to at least spend 1 or 2 semesters in Malaysia, or come and have presentation or discussion over here. It will be different. Go to, you have page 7, which is page 7. I just want to point certain things out. Okay. All right. Yeah. Before that, go up further. Yeah. There. Good. You said when persons here, however, new data suggests. Where is this? I made this note some time ago. Okay, I just want to tell you what I commented here. I said there are already studies on this, right? So if somebody has studied all this, right, and you will need to note in your write-up that somebody has studied this, right? And you got to, like I said just now, in the literature review towards the end, you got to show where the empty spaces are, where the vacuum, the theoretical vacuum, right? So you do not want to show that your work is not original. You got to show that your work is original. Okay, and then here you use the social effect thing and the social impact theory, right? So the social effect will be determined by the social dynamics at play, the timelessness of the event, the multiplicity of contributing factors. So is this a finding or is this part of the theory? If it's if it's findings, then you do not want to put in here, and you not want to jump to conclusion yet. But if it's part of the theory, you know that it's part of the theory, right? And at the end of that, you said you also put another purpose in your study here. So you say, where is it? That this study thus analyze the effects of social network size, parasocial contact, and then perceived impact. So here you have another purpose here. So make sure you have only one purpose, and so the term we'll use is objectives and research questions. You do not want to put in another word and then you use the word purpose. It might mean something else. You might confuse the examiners, right? So keep to your research questions and research objectives. Right? Okay, the last part and the last you go to research methodology. Research methodology. This is my last comment for now, right? In your research methodology, you will need to put in the sampling frame. Who are you going to survey, right? Why are you surveying this group of people? How big, how big is you're talking about to target Chinese social media users. This is basically one of the largest group of users of social media. One particular ethnic group, right? The largest ethnic group in social media, right? So, what is it? There are more Weibo users than WhatsApp users or something like that. If I look at the stats, right? So you got to scope it. You got to carve your sampling, right? So you got to say, well, I'll be looking at a particular platform maybe, or particular groups within a platform. Right? You're not looking at all, or you got to identify. And why are you looking at these groups? Why are you looking at this platform? And then you got to also justify your sampling. Right? So and sometimes in your sampling, the way you cut your research, you cut your sample, is where you will find your originality. So if you look at a comparison between the Gen Z or Gen Z and millennials and Gen X, whatever else, right? You can see comparison. Or you want to look at the rural and the urban, you can look at that. Or you look at different groups, various groups of social media, you can look at that as well, right? So you will need to specify that. You need to write down what your sampling frame is and who and why are you doing that, right? Okay, my last note for you, SunHao, is this. You got the balance between right now, I'm concerned now, between a scholarly work, a scientific, social scientific work, which it has its ethical demands, right? Meaning when you define something, you want to define it in a way that is unbiased, right? But the other side, you want to balance between not getting into trouble, right? You want to complete this because I understand there are limitations in every country, right? So I think in China you have limitations as well, right? To your work, so you got to balance between what you want to study and the integrity of a researcher and the safety of the researcher, right? So you know what I'm saying, right? So one is to be truthful to your field as a researcher. The other one is to not get into trouble. I guess I'm not sure I should advise you that way, but I think you will be careful with taking risk as well. Because I do want to see you graduate. Okay, so now, so you want to respond? You want to say something?
Okay, I will improve my paper.
Okay, and your PowerPoints, yeah, your PowerPoint slides. I'm not sure you're using PowerPoint. You're using slides, yeah. You improve your slides, yeah, and make sure the way you improve it is also taking into consideration the language factor. So get somebody to proofread your work, right? And somebody can be your friend, but a friend who is have that knowledge of professional friend. So this is where there are certain moments that you want to pay money for proofreading. This will be the moment during your proposal presentation. The PowerPoints and all. If you need to, you should. And, so that's an important part. Okay, SunHao. So
Okay.
the next move for you is to make the corrections, and then also your slides presentation. Right?
Yeah.
We can schedule maybe I give you a 1 month from now. Is that enough? Okay with you? 1 month after
Okay.
the spring
Enough.
festival. Enough, yeah. Okay.
Enough.
It's not to wait too long, and I think within 1 month we'll target after that 1 month. So after that 1 month, within that one, so now we're talking about now January, right? So end of February, maybe end of February, you'll make a second presentation, and hopefully by March, you'll make the proposal presentation to the committee, right? Sampling committee, right?
Okay.
So that will be your target there, right?
Okay.
Okay, SunHao. All right, congratulations. Good progress there.
Thank you, Professor. I will try my best.
Okay. Right. So now are you a newscaster? Like a TV journalist?
Me?
You, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay.
I am a TV hoster.
You're TV host, yeah.
In Xiamen TV station.
Oh, okay. So you a news read, you are in a news daily news?
Yeah.
新闻
对
新闻的
Daily News.
daily news. Okay, good. Xiamen, Ashok. Is it online? Online? No, it's not online.
Yeah.
It's online. You can watch on the internet.
我可以看到。I don't know what you mean.
Can I watch on the internet?
Your TV.
What you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'll check it out then. Xiamen, okay.
I will send you some video about me.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, SunHao. All right, we'll continue with
Okay.
with Samuel.
Thanks, Professor.
Welcome. 新年快乐。
新年快乐。
春节快乐，春节。
春节快乐。
Over there you don't say 新年呢，you say 春节快乐。
The same.
Same. Okay.
新年新春it's okay.
Right. Okay, thank you. This is the coming out the Chinese New Year, the Spring Festival, right?
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, it's important for us to know when the holidays are.
The rabbit.
Yeah.
This year with rabbit.
Year of the Rabbit, lunar calendar. Lunar calendar. Yeah. So we follow the other we don't follow the lunar calendar, right?
What do you mean lunar?
Based on the moon.
Okay.
Based on the moon.
Imlek.
Imlek.
Do you know, Doctor, this is culture in Iraq saying?
What? Sure. What?
We have say in the spring.
Spring.
When what's the day? Spring 21 March starts spring. This is a new year. New year for the season.
New Year for the season.
Yes, we say
Nowruz.
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 Iran and Iraq.
Iran. Yeah.
Also, we have popular culture. They search every year. This year come with an animal. If come with a rabbit, this means this feministic year.
Feminist.
Feministic, not good.
Oh God. Okay.
Yes.
This is the Nowruz.
Nowruz,
Okay.
yeah, Nowruz, yes. So now when I found here the Chinese same culture, that's very interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But what's the Nowruz? What is the year now? What animal?
I don't know
You don't know?
because
Orangutan.
I don't follow this. Yeah, but I think, for example, my mother do in the house. For instance, this is French. How can I say this? Bakhur in English.
Something to put in the jar.
Incense.
Make it sweet.
Incense.
Incense.
Yes, incense and the leaf of the tree. Some leaf of tree.
My
For barakah.
about this one.
Yes.
But this is the Shia culture, right? The Sunni Iraq.
Popular.
Oh,
Best popular
the Sunni
culture.
Shia
Yeah,
popular.
for example, Kurdish use this.
Kurdish use
Sunni,
it.
Arab, or use.
Oh, right.
Not related with the religion.
There are culture between
Yes.
the
So
culture.
in Iran, we have same culture.
You have same culture, yeah.
Also, in
Nowruz, yeah.
Iran, we have
Nowruz,
same culture.
Yes. Nowruz, new
Nowruz.
rules. New day.
New day.
New day,
Nowruz.
Nowruz.
Especially in Iran
Yes.
more than.
Yes.
Yeah. Last time when they have a big Iranian community students in USM, they have the Nowruz celebration.
Yeah.
Sure, right.
Yeah, over here, so that'd be fascinating
it's
to look.
right.
Japanese culture has something like that.
In spring,
The video has spring. Spring, example. Suro. Satu suro.
It's not spring.
But it's not spring. It's similar to Ramadan.
Yes.
Right.
Malam satu suro.
Malam satu suro. Okay.
And it's combined with the Java's culture.
Java's culture. Okay. But you're not Javanese, right?
I'm Sumatra.
Minang. Yeah.
So when I go now, this is an altar or small temple for Chinese hair. And when I see incense, when I see leaf trees, when I see candles,
Similar.
things.
Same, yeah. True. Yeah, firecrackers. Fireworks. Right?
Yes, this is in Iran also use. This is a firecrackers. Yes, this is a ritual.
Rituals.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm surrounded by that. I won't be able to sleep at that night, but it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Just go and enjoy. All right, we were ready for the. Thank you, SunHao. Yeah, we were ready for the next one. Samuel.
Okay. Thanks,
Ready?
Professor. Bye-bye.
Okay, welcome. Bye-bye. Stay on. Stick around. We are Qiming landing there. Yufeng. Chang, how are you, man? Haven't seen you.
I'm fine.
Good.
Excuse me. And
Yes.
now is for prayer time.
Prayer
I'm
time
going
in Iran.
and return back.
Okay,
morning,
go ahead.
Morning.
Oh, subuh. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes. Iran.
Yes.
Okay. We are ready for some study about China.
Ya Allah. Bismillah. Okay. My title talking about the rule of Belt and Road Initiative BRI on the political opportunity between China, the Middle East, and North Africa. A case study of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan. By the way, I don't need to take every word in the power.
All right, good.
I will
good.
talk as we talked before.
Sure, sure.
The Silk Road was one of the most important road in the history. I think during the Han Dynasty. Then China used this road for global commerce.
Commerce.
The open door policy beginning in 1978, when China increasingly impact market principles after decides of central planning that result in poor production level. Then President Xi Jinping originally announced China Belt and Road Initiative, formerly known as the One Belt One Road Initiative, in 2013 as a large-scale infrastructure project aimed at enhancing transportation connections between nations. The program aims to improve regional connection and collaboration among states with an emphasis at Central Asia at first, then to change to another country. The BRI initiative contains roads on land and sea.
Oh, sorry. Did you unmute?
What?
Yeah, unmute. Are you speaking? Can people hear you? Yeah, unmute. Mute. Just to make sure, because we are also recording, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, unmute.
Unmute.
Oh. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Okay.
That's good.
As I told you, BRI initiative contain road on land and sea.
Okay.
About the previous statement,
Go ahead.
many academics believe that strengthening economic contact and cooperation between countries will lead to increased mutual interests and, as a result, increased political interaction between countries. A small number of this studies look at the benefit. Normal like this.
I'm not sure that.
I think you need to mute to your PC. You need to mute.
Ah, okay, okay. Wait.
Okay.
Hello? Okay. A small number of these studies look at the benefits political economic between China and nations in the Middle East since the BRC China, since the China launched.
This is annoying bit. All right. Let me turn this off. The voice is coming from who? Hello? Hello? Can you speak?
Hello?
Okay, you can.
Yeah, speak.
Hello?
Because I think
What will you suggest? Ada bahasa bisnis kan? Change the speaker.
Hello.
What is this thing here? This body name. Capture my voice.
Yes, you need an antenna. Okay. Now speak.
Hello.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Again,
Okay,
Okay,
well, this is
okay.
good. Continue with problem statement. Yeah.
problem statement. Many academics believe
Make it
that.
loud, chef, make it loud.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Problem statement. Many academics believe that expanding economic contact and cooperation between countries will lead to increased mutual interest and, as a result, increased political interaction between countries. Meanwhile, such studies contend that political tensions and disputes would have the detrimental impact on economic connections and international commerce. A small number of these studies look at the beneficial political connections between China and nations in the Middle East. Since China launched the BRI in 2013, the majority of research have focused on the economic joint ties and their consequence for the economy and other industrial and commercial sectors. Few studies, on the other hand, seek to investigate the indicator that may be used to measure the political connections between the PRC and Middle East countries. For example, political closeness. However, the majority of research in the sector contend that their political interactions have not been elevated to the proper degree to balance their economic ties. The majority of academic attribute the absence of political contact between these nations to the oriented power in the Middle East. According to several analyses, these Middle Eastern countries are strategically aligned. As a result, both parties are taking their political relationships seriously. The study's main problem stems from a broad and central question. Did the general development in Chinese economic relation with Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt after 2013 reduce or increase the political distance between China and those countries? And if the political distance between China and other nations has shrunk, what are the reasons for this? And why hasn't the political divide between China and those countries shrunk? What stops the overall improvement in economic relation between China and these nations from narrowing the political gap? Such problematic questions, which must be answered using quantitative indicators of political distance and in a more comprehensive way away from any hasty conclusion to judge the Chinese political relations with the case study countries, are a basic pillar for understanding the reality of Chinese relations with those countries and a basic pillar for predicting their future. Research questions and objectives. Based on the problem statement, the study has developed some questions that will identify through this case study. I have two questions. First one, how have the economic relations changed before and after the introduction of BRI in MENA? The second question, how has political proximity evolved, transformed, changed under BRI. To identify the specific answer of this question, the current study has developed specific objective to determine through the case study analysis. The objectives are to identify economic changes in KSA, Egypt, and Jordan before and after BRI, to measure the transformation of political proximity in KSA, Egypt, and Jordan with BRI introduction. Now, chapter number 2, literature review. The literature review is divided into 5 main sections as follows. Liberal theory, discussed BRI concept, Saudi Arabia and BRI, Egypt in BRI, and Jordan in BRI. In my study, I relied on a number of previous studies that dealt with several parts of the topic that my study will address as follows. For example, the liberal theory, I found many studies talking about the liberal theory. For example, liberalism such to replace hereditary privilege, state religions, absolute monarchy, civil right of kings, and traditional conservatism with representative democracy and the rule of law. And then I would take BRI. The section number 2, I will take BRI and Saudi Arabia, and I will take under the BRI and Saudi Arabia many indicators. I will take it in my studies. For example, trade exchange, investment, political proximity agreement, policy coordination, education, economic transformation, foreign direct investment, FDI, and same Saudi Arabia. I take Egypt and Jordan in the literature review. About the conceptual framework, I will take the BRI. Under BRI, I will take trade exchange and investment. Then from BRI, I take economic development. From economic development, I will take the 2 indicators, FDI and economic cooperation. Then I will take political relations. Under political relations, I will take political proximity. Under political proximity, I will contain many indicators such as agreement, policy, geopolitical, education, United Nations, voting. My school voting. Yeah. Okay. Methodology, research design. The study research methodology will be a mixed method approach that incorporated both qualitative and quantitative procedures in order to portray the phenomena under investigation as precisely as possible. The study will be applied quantitative data collection and analysis will be conducted and follow up with qualitative data collection and analysis. Data gathering will be done in a sequential manner, both quantitatively and qualitatively. Method will be used data from respective website of the country, World Bank report of country data from 2000 to 2003 to 2022 will be analyzed. About philosophy and research paradigm, there are very variety of methods to do market research to boost the economic of any country. Quantitative tactics centered of statistical measures and analytical processing information is utilized by social scientists. Whereas qualitative methodologies, which stress language rather than numbers in data collection. The structure of the analysis might be qualitative, quantitative, or depend on the research question. The strategy will assist in the most effective formulation, investigation, and providing of preliminary responses to the research issues that are being considered in research. A hybrid strategy will also help in the development of trustworthy and usable research outcomes, which is a plus. A technique that incorporates a variety of approaches will also provide more specific information on the predicted components, as well as a bigger data set to investigate the reliability and trustworthiness of all interpretations will be enhanced using many forms of evidence in triangulations process. About publishing and sampling, the sample could include entrepreneurs, I will take it later.
Businessman.
Okay, business owner and other stakeholders that have been directly impacted by BRI initiative in the MENA region, specifically in the 3 countries of Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Jordan. In order to collect data on BRI initiatives in the MENA region, interviews should be conducted with entrepreneurs, business owner, and other stakeholders. And I think I will change it to academic and experience in the field of economy, political economy.
International relations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Businessman.
I think how I can interview anybody in Egypt, how he give me any information.
Yeah, you could put in businesses instead of.
Okay, business owner and the stakeholder that have been directly impacted by the initiatives. Interviews should also be conducted with government officials and representatives from the 3 countries in order to gain insight into the policies and regulations surrounding the initiatives. Additionally, interviews with members of the general public can provide valuable insight into how the initiatives have impacted the level of everyday citizens. I think this one, I think I changed it, but maybe I'm not safe. To be honest with you, I will change this one.
Okay.
Okay. Now, about the qualitative research question. Qualitative research question. I know it's small, but what I can do, I will take total 40 and semi-structural question will be asked to the respective individual of experts and academic in the field of international political economy. For example, in investment, what is the volume of Chinese investment in this country? And in return, are there any outward investment in China? About agreement, does the BRI provide both-way free trade agreement? About geopolitical, how will the Belt and Road Initiative affect economic cooperation between the 2 countries, maintain the relationship with non-BRI countries? You want to complete as an example? Okay. About data collection method, the qualitative data will be collected from the expert and academics in the field of international political economy. The procedures of collecting data formulating questionnaires that will ask to the expert and the academic in the field of international political economy through online media and face-to-face. Audio recording, formulating in the interview, collecting the data. Then I will, based on the interview, the data will be analyzed and result will be provided alongside with a quantitative study result. I will use UnVivo. A pilot study, I put 3 years to make a pilot study for one country. I don't know if it is right or no. I think 3 years enough to pilot a study for one country.
3 years.
3 years.
Okay,
From
I'll give my response. Go ahead. I will.
Okay, as I tell you, the formal will be used and the qualitative questionnaire will be applied for the interview with UnVivo software to analyze and present finding. And thank you.
Okay, good. All right. Okay.
If I have time, I can complete because I make some hidden PowerPoint. Yeah.
Okay.
After thank you, I have something.
Oh, good. That would be the good strategy to do.
Okay.
I'll do that. Okay. Mohammad, so you have reached the stage of presentation of your work within the chapters as well. Now, I'm going to give you some feedback, yeah? Still on the presentation first, and then we talk about the content along the way. So you talk about speaking freely or reading from there. I mean, there are 3 options you can have. Yes, speak freely completely, right? In which case you want to have keywords, and then you can explain, right? The other one is to actually read word by word, right? The third option is actually to combine, right? Speaking freely and reading word by word. My thought for you at this point is that you still want to maintain the sentences, you still want to maintain the statements, right? You can speak freely, but whenever you feel you're not sure, you go back to them. Okay, right? And one way to help is to highlight certain words. So you can look at the keywords and speak based on the keywords. Can you go to your problem statement? Good thing is that you came here and we work on it together. Okay, your problem statement says go to the next one. Yeah, okay. What is it that you talk about quantitative? Is it a problem statement? Must be, what is it? Must be done quantitatively. Where is it? Is it the first part or the second part? We go back the first part. You did talk about quantitative.
Quantitative?
Yeah, is this one? No.
I'm not talking about quantitative in the problem
No,
statement.
You did not, huh?
No.
So go before that, see before that. Before. Go down. I noted that as problem statement.
I'm not thinking I'm talking about this.
Go down. One more. Okay, anyway, I'll talk about the quantitative.
There are some. Oh, okay. Based on qualitative, economic, political. This one.
Yeah,
okay.
Such problematic concept, which must be answered using quantitative indicators. Okay, so using a must is a strong word. Replace the must be answered with can be answered.
Which word? Wait.
Such problematic questions which must be answered. Replace must with can be answered.
Can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then afterwards we'll explain. Yeah. And then before that, you use the word what stops. Go
Up or down?
up, I think. Up. Okay, then last one. Go down again. Stop it. Right. This is a set of questions you have here, yeah? Problem statement. And the last part is what stops the overall improvement in economic relations between China and these nations from narrowing the political gap.
Yeah.
Okay, this is part of the problem statement, which is actually good to have, right? But you do not have that in your research questions.
What?
You do not have this in your research questions.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all right, it's all right. This is where the improvement will come in. Now, your research, I'm going to jump a bit here and there. Right? Your research has both qualitative and quantitative,
Yeah.
mixed method. Right? So when you have mixed method, I mean, there are a variety of it, but the two main approaches in mixed method is explanatory or exploratory. Right? When you use exploratory, what it means is this: you will start with qualitative first.
Okay.
This is to find out. If you qualitative, we find out you do not know what the variables are, what the relevant items that you should be studying or whatever. You have a general idea, but you go in, right? So you explore first. You start with qualitative. And then once you identify the relevant, the key concepts or the important parts of that you want to study, then you take that one, you research it quantitatively. So qualitative and then quantitative. That's called exploratory. Right?
Okay.
The other one is explanatory. Explanatory, to explain, right? The first one is to explore, the second one is to explain. So the explain is actually coming to what you're doing now. The explain is when you do quantitative first and then qualitative later. So quantitative is to see you have these variables, you have this, things you want to look at, political proximity.
Okay.
You look at education, you look at policy, you look at the number of votings that are similar, not similar. And so you have to see a pattern, right?
Okay.
You have statistics, you have numbers, you look at patterns. And then you ask, why is that so?
What?
Why? What stops the overall improvement? Why are they improving? Why are they not improving? You ask the why question afterwards, right?
Okay.
That's the qualitative. So you have the data, you have the statistics first, and you ask why is that so? That is explanatory, right? Okay. Now, part that I think can be incorporated, should be incorporated in your research questions and in your study is the why part, right? So you have the political proximity, you develop the indicator, the index, whatever, right? Based on the voting pattern, the policies that is being formulated, the economic programs, whatever else, all that, the activities, right? From there, you see a pattern. You say, why do you have policies like this? Why do you have, Then you go to the qualitative.
Okay.
Right? So now, in your research methodology, you have the 14 respondents there, right?
Yeah.
Your 14 respondents is actually to help you develop the political proximity variables, to say, right? Remember we discussed what weightage you want to give, what value you want to give. That will be on the quantitative part.
Okay.
Right? But the qualitative part is where you ask, why we have political proximity? Why do we have voting that are supportive of China or not supportive of China, for instance, right? Or UN voting, right? Or why do we develop these policies? So you can actually have a new set of data, a new set of findings to explain political proximity. Right? So if you go back to your research question, can you go back to your research questions now? Okay, research go back then. This doesn't change much, but it changes in a fundamental way. Remember we talked about We're concerned with two questions, right?
Yeah.
Now we include the third question. So the third question can be, right? What is it? How has political proximity? So the third question is a simple question, right? Why? What factors? So what factors?
Wait, bro.
What factors? Or you can just use the why. Yeah, up to you what you want to use, yeah. But I'm going to give you a draft one. What factors lead to the level of political proximity, the current level of political proximity? What factors lead to the current state of affairs, the current level of political proximity? Simple question there.
So, repeat, Dr. please, because I like the methodology very much.
Yeah, sure. Methodology is very important because,
Yeah.
you know,
So,
yeah,
the question of why use with explanatory.
it'll be explanatory. You will explain why, right?
Explain why. To
Explain.
start from quantitative to qualitative.
That's right. Yeah, the qualitative will explain why.
And what maybe with exploratory.
That's right. That's right.
Start from quantitative to quantitative.
Yeah, yeah. So qualitative is you say, oh, yeah, why are you depressed? Why are you depressed? Why are you because of this? Because of, all right, that's your thoughts. And then we say, is there a connection between depression and finance, depression and this? So that would be exploratory. Right? So we start with that one. So Samir, you got that one. That's the third one, right?
Okay.
All right. Now, the part of your methodology that will need to change, will need to not change, improve, is the qualitative part after that. So, what you want to do is you can say have the same group of people that you ask, but why?
Okay.
But you can add some more.
14 question, I will add some.
You can add this, you can have the same people because they're experts, right?
The experts.
The experts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the expert, I will put 14.
We have here 14, isn't it? You have 14, no?
No, 14. 14 question.
I don't remember number 14 somewhere. There? Total semi-structural questions. Okay. All right. It's okay. It's good. All right.
Okay.
So these are semi-structured questions, right? This is not the people. So the why can be explained by the experts and the people who have experienced the change.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So suppose they are being impacted by the policy or BRI or something of collaborative project.
Some people care about education. Some people care about investment. Some people.
Yeah. So that would be the sampling that you want to take for your qualitative questions to answer research question number 3.
Okay.
So now you have the political proximity.
That's to understand.
Yes, and why is it so? Why do we have this? Why do we have that?
First, number 1, I will add the question number 3 for the research question.
Yes.
Then I will go to the methodology and add some question for a qualitative research question.
Question number 3.
Number 3, I will add it on this table. Right?
So there are 2 parts to your qualitative research, right?
Yeah.
One is to develop or to give weightage, to give value to the variables that you identify.
This is different. This table different. Not this.
Not this one. Okay.
No, not this one. This one I will put the variables.
Okay.
For example, I tell you I hidden something because I know what's they happen. I will take the United Nations, the voting in the United Nations. Okay. And I will take this indicator, trade exchange, investment, direct foreign investment, economic cooperation, agreement, education, regional and international political cooperation.
Right.
Okay. This one I put after consulting experts. This is example. I will send, for example, I will send this table by email to Prof. Mohammad Reevany. And please, doctor, can you give me weight for this indicator? I will send for Muhtadi, for example. Can you give me? Then I will take all and put average.
Okay, sure.
Average for this, for you and Muhtadi and experts. Okay?
Yeah.
And indicator wise after statistical processing after consultant expert. And this one I will put what the percentage very high, which one low.
Yeah.
And I will send this table. Then this is the very important. This is the timeline. This is very important. The result very important. If you see, bro, here. But after that, I will try acceleration between 2013 to 2022 to know the acceleration every, for example, every 1 year
Increased by 10%.
increased by, for example, 1%.
Yeah.
That means I can know what's the future, what's the relationship between the China and the Middle East or case study.
On education, for example.
No, for all.
For all, okay.
No,
So
because
composite.
I will average it all.
Okay, it's all right.
I will average it all because that I'm talking about political proximity.
Right. Okay. So the proximity will be
Okay.
the index, the indicator, yeah? Okay. So,
Yeah, because that I'm talking about political proximity.
okay, all right. So, all right. So, going back to question number 3, question number 3 is just to explain why. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, the question number 3, there will be people who say, well, because they will have their own explanation, right? So it can be political, it can be social, it can be economic, it can be security. So what is it? There'll be, right? So
احنا وين جبنا هذا السؤال النمبر 3؟
Samer, you have done that.
What?
Once you have included, this is question number 3, and then you put in your methodology to include sample. You can come up with sample of. I would recommend more than 30. More than 30 people to interview for the why part.
Doctor, Ralph, I don't need to make people because I know. Bro, this is a huge work.
It is a huge work, I know.
Huge work. The Bouting, the United Nations, I know they are 7,010 decision.
Yes.
I would analyze
700.
710. It's huge.
Okay.
And I will communicate with experts, and I will. It's a huge work.
Right.
I will try to change it in
What-
the methodology.
You could can expand the type of people you want to question, not just the policymakers. It can be
30 people, I will take 10 from
corporate.
Jordan, 10 from Saudi Arabia, 10 from Egypt.
You could do that.
Yeah.
You could do that. So it can be from the corporate, it can be from the university, it can be for religious people. It's
But
fine
the
too.
university, I will take it as academic or experts.
You could. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. All you need to do is to justify why you have included them. You just explain why. For the academic, this is the reason. For government people, this is the reason. For business people, this is the reason, for instance.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Maybe the trade exchange to be faster after the BRI. Oh, sure,
Maybe.
Oh, sure,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
maybe, sure.
Yeah. But we do that. Okay, you're ready then. You can do that. Maybe you can improve that one and see. And on Monday you go. But Monday you close. Today you can.
Muhtadi, I don't know.
So afterwards, no. Samir,
Yeah.
right after this, go to the
Okay.
office.
I think we should be stop the record.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. You're not saying something bad.
Now because we are
Okay, there's nothing bad. Okay.
I think all the